Welcome everyone to round 5 of the 2022 championship season. We're here to finish off the West Coast swing, and we're here at Phoenix International Raceway. 156 laps of racing this afternoon. We have an exciting one for you. Phoenix last season was kind of up in the air of what could have been a crash early on, set the tone for the rest of the race. And track position was key throughout the event. Last time out at California, James Shelley rebounded after a poor first 3 rounds in the championship to win for the first time this season for round 4. Round 5 was also the site of the first time using the 2022 owner points to determine who is locked in for every race. And trying to get as best a finish as you can still means a whole lot early in the season. Zayden Davidson, who's had a heck of a start to the 2022 season, leads the field to green. Oh, Davidson gets hit by James Silverfox sideways in front of the pack. Davidson hangs on to it. Jesse Turner to the outside. Turner still searching for his first win of the season. And Phoenix was the site of his first win of the 2021 season. Could he repeat that today and go back-to-back at Phoenix from last year to this year? Davidson to the inside, still working on Turner, but Turner's got the outside line working, and it's Jesse Turner taking the lead. Starting to get spread out early on in the run, as tire wear will kick in as the run progresses. The outside line all race weekend has shown to be the preferred groove for the Sony Cup Series drivers and for the lower tier categories for the FBRL. Right now it is Turner, Davidson, Silverfox, the top 3. Then it's Dejan Weeks and Cody Lamas making up the top 5. DJ Curtis, Sean Harple, Jeffrey White, Joseph Shrigley, and Dylan Schwellenberg making up the rest of the top 10 places. Schwellenberg making that move on Alex Benyako to move his way into the top 10. Joseph Shrigley's had a heck of a start to the year, hasn't he, in the 86 machine? He's always able to just click up some top 10s. He's got 3 top 10s to start the season. And Shrigley's been very good and very consistent to start this season. Alex Benyako, he's had to come from a long way back. You know, Las Vegas and California mid-race, he was deep in the 20s and ended up finding his way in the top 5. And fighting for the race win at the end of the day. And, well, he's much further up the road early on in this one. He can hang in there. Alex Benyako, who finished well here last season in 2021. Benyako could be a threat as the race goes along. Shrigley's got his hands full with Dylan Schwellenberg looking mid-pack as the race goes along. It looks like an engine failure up ahead, and it's Jesse Turner, the race leader, has blown up, and it's Alex Benyako with issues. The Red Bulls wreck with each other. Matthew Rodriguez, the Las Vegas winners in it. Nick Mace, Mitchell Collins, Cole Baker, Peter Onjack's in that as well. Jesse Turner, the race leader. The engine goes up in smoke. It is Zayden Davidson that's going to inherit the race lead. But that is just a shame and tough luck for many drivers. There's Matt DeLeo, the 33 car. That's Bobo Jones this race weekend. And Jesse Turner, an engine failure from the race lead on lap 17. Very unfortunate break for Jesse Turner. Had a comfortable lead out in front ahead of Zayden Davidson, and off turn 2, the engine just blows up and has to make room. He goes to the very top, trying to get everybody some room, but he's needing to get to the inside. And I think the spotter just failed Turner a little bit there. England and Sanford made contact. Tip Foster's in there. See, there's Logan Cloud. He did very well at California. He's got damage. James Shelley, last week's winner in the 71, all wadded up. Trying to get another view of it. This has already happened. And Turner and Benyako made contact. Baskinger gets into England, which shoves him up into Sanford in the 83. Sanford had 3 good opening rounds in the championship season. Had a poor run at California. It looks like it's going to be another uphill battle today. Cole Baker there. Matthew Rodriguez, who had done phenomenal at Las Vegas. is all wadded up and may fall out of the race. Peter Onjak looked like he got in the back of somebody further back. Nick Mason, Mitchell Collins, who started deep in the field, they're in it as well. Here's another replay as we look at the guys further back. Everyone tried to stack up and miss this accident. Shelley got into Turner. And I know that didn't show a whole lot, but Peter Onjak, Matt DeLeo slammed into Shelley. And out of the race goes a lot of guys. Coming back to the restart, Zayden Davidson is going to be the race leader. And well, looking at this, Matt Rodriguez is still on the racetrack, I believe. Not entirely sure, but Rodriguez, Turner, Bobo Jones, and Matt DeLeo look like they're the only cars out of the race. James Sorfox right on the back end of a fellow Mercedes. UER and Cybertron Motorsports, you know they have an alliance. And, well, UER has shown great potential, and they're not the second-hand team in that alliance. They're showing that they have race-winning potential. Sean Harple and James Sorfox, week in and week out to start this 2022 season. They have been up front and inside the top 10. And here comes DJ Curtis. Mercedes, man, what an opening debut to the Sony Cup Series they have had. 5 races into their Sony Cup Series campaign. And they have a good bit of cars. 4 cars inside of the top 6. And Dejon Weeks could be in trouble. Harple is swarming him to the inside. Curtis is there as well. Still no real challenges or no real changes inside the top 10. Vignacco is still inside the top 10. He didn't pit in the 8 car. He has all that damage. Daniel Bouchard, who had a great run in California, could have won there, is outside the top 10. Chris Dodd had a good run at Las Vegas. He's having a good run right now in 12th. Ryan Griffin, Eric DeMax. The point leader, Jake Baskinger. Every race, it seems like Baskinger finds a way to get up there. And looked like there might have been an accident down there in turn 1 to see tire marks heading towards the wall. And we haven't had an accident turn 1 to my knowledge, so there may have been an incident down there in turn 1. The incident that happened down there in turn 1, this was what happened under the yellow flag after they had raced back to the flag. Vince Freeze got into Will Goss, and Freeze spun up into the wall, but this was under the yellow flag. We're racing back to the caution flag. So this had already happened. Everybody had made repairs of all what they wanted to, and everybody is still running. Meanwhile, up front, DJ Curtis has passed James Sorfox, and he's looking to try and take the race lead. Cybertron Motorsports, you know, DJ Curtis has shown a lot of speed in the first half of these races, but not been able to seal the deal. And Zayden Davidson's been the opposite, really. Been able to finish in the top 5 a lot whenever he's not finishing out of the race like he did in the Daytona 500. 19 and 91 Mercedes on the podium right now in Curtis, Davidson, and Silverfox. Behind is Cody Lamas. Lamas finished outside of the top 10 at Battle at the Beach in California. He's looking to have a good run today, and he's looking good so far. Been inside the top 5. Dejon Weeks looks like he's missing a little something. He's going to need to make some adjustments for pit stops, but for the lead, it is Curtis that's going to edge out in front. New race leader, car 19. Cody Lamas taking his Lowe's Chevrolet to the outside of James Silverfox. He's going to make his move to try and get into third, but Silverfox is going to take this opportunity to try and take second place. You know, Silverfox took what was a line of defense for a second. Now he's on offense. He's trying to take second place away from Zayden Davidson. Davidson doesn't look to have the best car on a long run. He's trying to fend off Sorfox and Lamas. This has been James Sorfox's best start to the season in as long of a time. It's been probably 5 years since I've seen James Sorfox start the year off like he has. This is the old James Sorfox that we're used to seeing. You know, Silverfox has won a lot in the series. He's won 13 times, but Silverfox has not won since 2017 at Darlington. He won at the Daytona 500 in Darlington in 2017. That's the last time we've seen Silverfox in victory lane. And with the speed that UER has shown this season, it's quite possible he could find victory lane again. In 5 years, it's been since he's been in victory lane. Ryan Acosta, we'll be talking about this guy all season. You know, he made that move from Allen Family Racing Team. That team has seemed like they have struggled for the most part. Dodd giving them a good ride in 13th, challenging to get inside the top 10. And, well, Ryan Acosta left that team after 7 years of being a race car driver for Dodge and Allen Family Racing Team. Driving that famous 24 car for Mace Enterprises. Should be their last time full-time on the grid for Mace Enterprises. But Ryan Acosta doing a battle with Anthony Marchese and Dylan Young. You know, Marchese, he has done very well to start the year. He's in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship, and if you ask Anthony Marchese, he wants to try and be consistent, build on his runs each week, and try to be a championship contender. We know what he was capable of doing in the Hardee's National Series, and, well, him and Dylan Young and Ryan Acosta seem like they're struggling with the race cars. They're mid-pack, but you can expect all three of these drivers, very talented drivers, behind the wheel of the 1654 and 24. They could be a factor later on. Talking about some drivers that we expect, you know, to be running up front and have the experience. These are some guys that, you know, have, you know, they're up against it this weekend, and each week they sort of are. Flipside Motorsports, they're trying their best to learn each week and get better and better, and Will Goss and team have done a solid job being a top 25 car each week, and Goss in the 51 being a Rookie of the Year contender in that 51, racing with Stephen Pollard III, who is a longtime veteran, but that team is also in the same boat, trying to gain experience and build that rep that they need, that experience. That team is very inexperienced in the Cup level. Texas Motorsports is. They did inherit a lot of equipment from Cybertron Motorsports last season as a Ford operation, but a lot of that was debunked after the new body modifications. But Pollard III each week has been in a top 25 whenever it seems like, and he's doing a great job. And Mitchell Collins in the 70. You know, I thought he was involved in their first crash today. And, well, he's in the top 25. Jacob Hart's just behind. Nick Mace we see back there. He was involved in the accident. But this is taking you through the field. You know, we'll be coming up on pit stops here shortly. But, you know, some drivers further back, they have different goals than, you know, some say like the CM Racing Cars and Richard Johnson in the 47. You know, they want to get up in the top 10 and race. And Jake Baskinger hunting down Alex Bignacco, who is doing a heck of a job right now in the top 10. But pit stops will shake this race up tremendously. We come up on lap 50. Matthew Rodriguez, Jesse Turner, just two drivers that we know are out of the race. And both Turner and Rodriguez are 2nd and 5th in the driver standings entering this race. Sanford was also involved in that accident. Sanford has dropped to 6th in points, and he's having another bad day after California. And, well, this is taking a big hit to them in the driver's points. And one driver who really has had a miserable start to this season, that is John Arndt. Arndt in the 43 is 37th in the Drivers' Championship and had to qualify in on speed. He was a go-or-go-homer entering this race, and we're not used to seeing the 43 Allen Family Racing Team car have to qualify their way in as a go-or-go-homer. This 43 team was 3rd in the championship standings in 2019 and top 10 in the points in 2020. And in just 2 years, that team in the first couple of races has had just poor luck. You know, Dodd has really shown that the Allen Family Racing Team Dodge has potential. You know, we've seen it at Las Vegas, and we're seeing it today with the top 15 run from Dodd. But Arndt has had zero luck, and he is deep in the pack in 29th. The race for second continues to be the best battle on the track. Dejon Weeks has made his way around James Zorfox, and the way he's able to drive that car down the inside. Dejon Weeks has a very fast Dodge. He's finally been able to pass one of them, being James Zorfox. He could possibly pass Davidson here off the corner, which would be the first time in about 20 or so laps that anybody's been able to get around Davidson. Davidson has held this pack up nearly 4 seconds back to DJ Curtis, and Weeks in the 30. The Walmart Dodge is trying to take second. Looks like he's going to do it down in turn 1. Dylan Schwallenberg has moved his way past to Cody Lamas. Lamas is falling back. Everyone's got to the top. Lamas' teammate Jeffrey White, who did very well at this race last season. To the outside, moving his way up to 6. Shrigley and Harple are there. Lamas falling back. Davidson down to 3rd. Weeks is up to 2nd. As 2nd to 4th start to try and pull away and try and chase down DJ Curtis. It is Sean Harple and Joseph Shrigley, 2nd to 5th, my bad. 6 on back are doing their own little battle. Shrigley for Horizon Group, continuing to be very impressive. Harple as well. There's some drivers you wouldn't usually expect to be up at the front constantly. Joseph Shrigley's one of them, Harple is one of them, and Silver Fox. But if you think about it, Silver Fox has that experience, and Schwellenberg's trying to come to the front quick. He's been picking off race cars one by one. Silver Fox is a 13-time race winner. Harple is a Hardee's National Series champion. And Shrigley fought for the title in the Hardee's National Series last season. All very capable drivers with good experience in the FBRL, but haven't had the best of luck lately in the FBRL for the Sony Cup Series to show representative speed to be running this well week to week. But their team has just been on it. Mercedes and Pontiac, to be exact, those engine manufacturers have brought a lot of horsepower, and with that, a lot of performance gain between all the teams that are using Mercedes and Pontiac. And, you know, there was a lot of talk, would Mercedes be as good as they are, and will Pontiac actually falter? But it looks like Pontiac and Mercedes have hit the ground running, and they've got a handful of cars inside the top 10, race on race. How about Daniel Bouchard? Bouchard to the outside of the point leader, Jake Baskinger. Baskinger was trying to make a pass on Alex Benyako, but Bouchard to the outside is going to take 11th place away. Richard Johnson is there in the 47. Baskinger is the only driver so far this season. It was Sanford, but after last week, it is only Baskinger that have top 10 finishes in every race so far to start the year. Baskinger has got a pit stop coming up. You got to believe that Turner Performance Racing team is going to adjust on that 97 to get him competitive to be in the top 10, if not the top 5. And he's racing hard with that Alpha Tauri. One thing that is very interesting to note is James Shelley in the 71 team, even though they had won at California last week, Shelley entered this race just barely over the cut line for the top 30 in owner points. So leaving round 5 at Phoenix with Shelley currently in 36, he's doing all he can to get any positions right now, hoping for some more accidents, pass some more cars that may fall out of the race. But Shelley, it is very possible somebody with a race win this early in the year could be a go-or-go-homer for round 6. And, well, that is a shame. That just goes to show the amount of luck James Shelley has had. It's been just nothing but bad luck all the way from round 1 to 3 into round 5. The only race he has not had bad luck was the one he won at California. And, well, he's doing all he can to get every point out there. Jake Baskinger has finally worked his way around Alex Benyako, was able to fight back against Daniel Bouchard, make a pass against the 8 car. Benyako found problems early in the race, been able to hold strong, but pit stops, I'm surprised we haven't had any yet. Very hard compound tire. Everybody's been able to go a long way on this run of tires. Pit stops will be coming up shortly, and Benyako going to need to repair damage. It's going to hinder him in the second half of this race. But Baskinger is looking to get his 5th top 10 in only 5 starts so far this season. It's been doing a heck of a job of being consistent. We nearly had a crash. Wilt Goss trying to get to pit road ran Jake apart onto the apron. And Goss, who was trying to find his way to the pits, very clumsily ran into the 2-time champion. They're starting to come around. Dylan Schwellenberg is the first of the top 10 to dive down pit road. The undercut strategy for the Rodriguez Racing Camp. It was Matthew Rodriguez at Las Vegas, and they lost out at California, but they're hoping to get a win with Dylan Schwellenberg today. A lot of drivers. Eric DeMax outside the top 10. He's in as well. 2 laps after Dylan Schwellenberg has pitted, there goes DJ Curtis, there goes Dejon Weeks. And, well, this is 2 laps after Dylan Schwellenberg came down pit road. A lot of drivers still have not came down and taken tires and gas. Dylan Schwellenberg is going to benefit a lot from undercutting, but how will this affect later in the race? He's going to make up a ton of time. 3 laps after Dylan Schwellenberg has pitted, the championship leader brings Alex Benyako and Ryan Griffin down pit road. 4 laps after Dylan Schwellenberg has pitted. This is going to be very interesting. You're watching pit stop cycle through. Jeffrey White is in pit road with Daniel Bouchard. 5 laps after Dylan Schwellenberg has pitted. Here comes Curtis coming down pit road. And man, if a caution comes out, this is going to be very bad for those that did pit. Dejon Weeks 5 laps late. You know, you have a lot of tire wear here at Phoenix. And Dylan Schwellenberg out there, somewhere out there in car 10, is making up a ton of time. Weeks, though, stays out. Here he is. Dejon Weeks finally down pit road, the 6th lap. And there's Dylan Schwellenberg. This is going to be very interesting to see how this cycles through. And here is how it cycles out. DJ Curtis is just ahead of Dylan Schwellenberg. So Cybertron Motorsports, that big lead is gone, but Curtis has 5-lap fresher tires than Dylan Schwellenberg, and that's going to pay dividends later in the race. So Schwellenberg's chances to win likely not going to happen unless we get another caution flag and that team comes down to get tires, but I think they're on the last set of tires they're going to do today. I don't think they'll, even if a caution comes out, I don't think they're going to pit. I think that was their last stop, and Schwellenberg, I think that was a gamble right there, but he's going to try and take the lead. Lap car, Cole Baker, Curtis's teammate, holds him up. Oh, and Curtis ain't happy about that. Gives Baker a little tap into turn 3. Schwellenberg inherits the lead because of Cole getting in the way of DJ. Richard Johnson, he actually came down pit road a little earlier, not as early as Dylan Schwellenberg. Same with Sean Harple. They are 3rd and 4th. Good calls right there to get them in track position. Track position is pretty key here at Phoenix. Hard to pass. The outside line, the preferred groove. Dejon Weeks has fell from 2nd to 5th place. He's going to have fresher tires, though. James Sorfox has got his tires warmed up. He's to the inside, trying to pass the 30. Sorfox is in 6th. Shrigley 7th. 8th for Benyako. They chose not to repair the damage. I'm surprised that they didn't choose to repair damage, because that's often a team call that they like to do, repair damage. But Benyako staying inside the top 10. Good call for that CM Racing team. Lamas is 9th. Max has worked his way into 10th in car 0. He's still searching for his first top 10 of the year. Zayden Davidson has dropped outside the top 10. Baskinger in 12th. And how about Ryan Acosta in 13th? Jeffrey White back to 14th. Ryan Griffin in 15th. And Daniel Bouchard in 16th. A lot of different strategies even further back. Will Goss is in 17th. Then it's Chris Dodd. And side by side between Collins and Young, that's a battle for 19th. Collins has it. A phenomenal run right now by the Anjado team. And Young in 20th. And outside of it, Jeff James in car 18, and then car 21 is in 22nd with Pollard. Marchese, Smith, Art, Mace, Sanford, England, and Freeze are the last on the lead lap, as we are with less than 50 to go. Curtis trying to follow the lap car of Vince Freeze to get back into the race lead. Schwellenberg was trying to pass Vince Freeze, and well, Vince Freeze might open the door up. Yes, he does. Curtis round the outside. DJ Curtis taking the race lead from Dylan Schwellenberg. DJ Curtis trying to not look back now. Schwellenberg doesn't have the freshest tires. 5 laps may not seem like a whole lot, but that is an eternity here at Phoenix. And Curtis has the advantage, and I don't think Schwellenberg's going to have an answer for him. Davidson has worked his way back into the top 10. Eric DeMax fighting to try and chase him down and hold back Jake Baskinger. DeMax, though, has a host of cars, about 5 cars, just hounding that 0 from the rear. Baskinger, White, Acosta, Griffin, and Bouchard all searching for a way past of Eric DeMax. Baskinger has his hands full if he wants to try and get that 5th top 10 of this season. Been very consistent with those top 10s, but it's going to be a tough challenge here. Davidson pulling the cap. And Sorfox still working on Dejon Weeks. That is to get into 5th place. Shrigley round the outside. And a great run by Joseph Shrigley today had a good run. Him and Bouchard both had a great run at California. Had a chance to win. Great strategy calls by all of those out there at California. And a lot of strategy here today as well. We're closing in on the very end of today's race. Dejon Weeks needs to try and get around his teammate Richard Johnson. Richard Johnson short pitted by just a couple of laps, about 3 laps. Fresher, 3 laps older tires than Dejon Weeks. And he's going to have a tough time trying to stay in the top 10, I think. Richard Johnson had a very consistent run at the start of this season. And I wouldn't have really expected Johnson to have this good of a run. You know, he had a great run in 2021. Finished 13th or so, or I think 12th or 13th in the final standings. Missed a handful of races. Many people believe with the speed Monster Energy Racing, Richard Johnson has a chance to win that 3rd championship. It all depends on consistency, and that team has been having a lot of good runs this year. And Richard Johnson sits 4th in points, but right now he's falling back. From 4th to 5th, Weeks passes him. Dejon Weeks continues to pick off a couple of race cars past Sean Harple. Weeks is into the podium places, and Harple, just like Richard Johnson, is just trying to salvage whatever he can with that early call to come in. He's down to 4th. Silver Fox is laying in the weeds right there in 5th position. He's got a top 5 run going. He's ahead of Strigley by a good bit. Lamas has picked his way through a couple of race cars, notably Richard Johnson just recently. Zayden Davidson has passed Alex Benyako. And Benyako making up the final spot inside the top 10. Got about 30 laps to go. Jeffrey White, Eric Tamax, Ryan Griffin, Baskinger, and Daniel Bouchard. That is the top 15. A lot can still happen in this race. You know, some things are still cycling out. We're trying to figure out where is Harple and Richard Johnson going to place. The whole field's kind of got a lot of strategy going on with it. But Dylan Schwellenberg, what a call. I think he's got a top 5 run sealed down even with his bold strategy. Won't have a win, I don't think, but you just never know. You got to put yourself in position, right? And he's doing that. He's in 2nd position. Curtis was way up the road. You had to do something, or else you were going to follow the leader. And DJ Curtis still has to be perfect, and he has been far from perfect all season so far. That team has been on it every race with speed, but it has been sealing the deal when it comes to finishing the race up at the lead when it matters most for Curtis and Cybertron Motorsports. Nobody has been able to touch them all race. And, well, he's just got to close this one out. Very impressive, but Charles Sanford, you know, he had a poor run at California, fell to 6th in points. But Sanford, slowly but surely, they made adjustments in that one round of pit stops, still on the lead lap. And Sanford's in 23rd and doing a good job today. You know, all things considering after that wreck he had, that team's passing whoever they can pass, and it's a decent points haul from where he was running. And up in front of them, Stephen Paul III having a good run, just has to finish it, you know, like Las Vegas. He had a top 25 run going, had to pit late in the race, lost a couple of spots at the end. But that's notably 2 guys right there, Will Goss and Mitchell Collins. Will Goss is on pit road in the 51. I hope they're not going to have to pit again. That would be, I think Goss may have an issue. I don't expect them to pit again. Just checking. That was a scheduled pit stop for Will Goss. Will Goss came down pit road. So the 51 car, you know, Will Goss is now, looks like he is 1 lap down, going to go 2 laps down. So very odd call there. Unless I start seeing other drivers come down pit road, I don't expect these guys to pit again. Charles Sanford has put up a good fight, but trying to stay on the lead lap. He has moved up to 20th position, and what a start, what a day it has been for that Red Bull driver. You know, Sanford has had a great start to this season, and what a rebound it would be to finish in the top 20 with a car that got tore up in turn 3. And, well, he's trying to fend off DJ Curtis and trying to stay on the lead lap with 5 laps of racing to go. DJ Curtis trying to put down this race. He has dominated today in the Valley of the Sun. Charles Sanford trying to stay ahead of Curtis. Second place is Dylan Schwellenberg. He's pretty much got second place on the wraps. Dejon Weeks trying to chase him down, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. James Sorfox all but surely has a fourth place position in the cards. Fifth place is Sean Harple. Harple did a good call. That team made a phenomenal call to give Harple track position. He's been able to hold it. In fifth position, sixth is Joseph Shrigley. That Horizon Group team has got to be proud of Shrigley today and the job he has put up with that Trans Am Pontiac. Sixth place, Zayden Davidson, another top 10 run for him right now in seventh. Eighth for Cody Lamas. Ninth, all the way back, is a battle between Benyako and Johnson. I thought Benyako was going to be finishing outside the 20s today when he was involved in that accident with Jesse Turner. But here he is, battling through it and going to get a top 10 run, it looks like. Him and Richard Johnson. That is 9th and 10th. Then Jeffrey White and Ryan Griffin just outside of the top 10. As we come to the line, there'll be 2 laps of racing to go. 2 to go for DJ Curtis and Cybertron Motorsports. Cybertron Motorsports, this team used to be the Yamp Motorsports organization many years ago. And Cybertron Motorsports bought them out. Well, Cybertron Motorsports used to be on the team as their own organization, sold their team to Yamp Motorsports. And, well, the Yamp Motorsports original team eventually ended up getting sold to a different owner. And that original owner of Cybertron Motorsports is now the owner of the old Yamp Motorsports team. So, really what I'm getting at is this team has won a race in every season that they've been a part of in the modern era. And they're going to add another victory to that tally. And DJ Curtis rounding the corner. He is going to tie Luke Martin with 25 wins in his career. DJ Curtis wins it at Phoenix in dominating fashion. I have to double check that stat. It's almost unbelievable to say that. DJ Curtis has tied Luke Martin for second all-time on the wins list at 25. And DJ Curtis is the only driver currently on the grid to have won 8 years in a row in the modern era. From 2015 all the way to 2022, DJ Curtis has been able to grab at least one Sony Cup Series victory. And the only other driver to get close to that is Jesse Turner. Turner has yet to win this season, but he has won 7 years in a row. He could win 8 years in a row if he grabs a victory this year, which we know Turner is liable to do that. But DJ Curtis has absolutely tore the field up today. Let them behind in the rearview mirror. DJ Curtis. Was there ever any doubt DJ Curtis was the strongest car this afternoon? His Mercedes was unbeatable. He finishes first. Dylan Schwellenberg rebounds after California to get second. Dejon Weeks finishing third. James Sorfox fourth. A great run for UER, United Emirates Racing. Harple and Sorfox, you got to think a win is coming their way this season with the way they've been running. Fourth and fifth for Sorfox and Harple. Shrigley as well, you got to think he could possibly win this season. Strong has been finishing inside the top 10 3 times already, if not 4. He has been so good. Shrigley in 6th. Davidson as well. A lot of guys, I believe, have a good bit of chance to win this season, but Shrigley, Davidson, Lamas, even Benyako and Johnson rounding out the top 10. All of them so far this season have been so good. That is your top 10 from Phoenix. The West Coast swing is over. We'll be off for next week, but we will return to Charlotte for round 6 of the championship. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.